Who's on upset alert when it comes to week 7 of the college football season? I can't shake this feeling, man. I've tried. I have taken extra caffeine. I have tried to get more sleep. I cannot shake this feeling. I don't trust Notre Dame. I want to. I love Marcus Freeman. I love Riley Leonard. I love the fact that he has his mom text him, "Hey, you suck," before every game. Like, that's hilarious. They're so likable, but I don't trust them just yet. You got Stanford rolling into town. 23.5-point dogs. Feels like a big number. Now, Notre Dame can very easily cover that number and win this game if they play to the level that they're capable of playing. We talk about the roster. I love Jeremiah Love, no pun intended. I think their defense is elite. But which Notre Dame shows up? Is it Notre Dame that took belt to behind against Louisville, or is it the Notre Dame that slept walk for the better part of 3.5 quarters against NIU? I don't know. Excited to find out. I wouldn't touch that spread. Actually, I'll say that again. I would not touch that spread if I'm a Notre Dame fan. I might think about it if I were just a college football fan or a Stanford fan getting 23.5 points. If Notre Dame rolls out there and plays how they did against NIU, very obvious to say they could get beat. College football fans, we appreciate y'all being subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, no time like the present. We're at 200,000 subscribers. That is all y'all, and we appreciate y'all making this operation what it is. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, no time like the present. Now, coming off a massive upset, on the right side of the upset, one that we did not see coming. I don't think anybody saw it coming outside of the folks out there inside that building in Nashville. Vanderbilt, they go to Kentucky. You would think after you beat Alabama, you slay the dragon, vibes are high, people are believing in Diego Pavia. He's on every outlet. He's on the Feinbaum show, he's on the Dan Patrick. He's everywhere. You would think that the Vanderbilt momentum would start to carry over to the sports book. Maybe Vegas is saying, hey, letdown spot, we don't trust it. 13.5, 2 touchdowns at Kentucky. I know it's on the road. I get that, and I understand the spot is a little bit tricky because you got to hit the reset button and you got to reset your emotional state after an incredible, the biggest win in Vanderbilt school history. However, I still think Diego Pavia is that dude. I think that just the way that he's wired competitively is a bit different. I don't think the moment impacts him the way that it would impact the average human amygdala, which is the part of the brain that processes fear. So I won't just take Vandy to cover. I think Vandy goes into Lexington, Kentucky, and Diego Pavia, little triple option action. They get it done. They win the football game. So take Vandy plus 13.5. Take Vandy to win the football game if you're feeling a little bit frisky, all right? Now, speaking of feeling frisky, man, this spread is way too large, and I get it. I get it. You got Tennessee hosting Florida, and Florida's kind of limping into this one a little bit based on what they did early in the year. The Miami game sticks out. The A&M game sticks out. We made the Step Brothers comp earlier on in the week saying it feels like they're living out that scene in Step Brothers where John C. Reilly is trying to bury Will Ferrell in the front yard, and then Will Ferrell takes a shovel to his head and says, "No, I'm alive. You thought I was dead. I'm alive." I don't know what Florida is, okay? I will say this. I would be wildly surprised at this point in the year if Billy Napier is the head coach in 2025 in Gainesville. I don't think that's a take that's splitting the room. However, in this game, 19 of the last meetings between these two, Tennessee has won 2. And Tennessee right now is a 2-touchdown favorite in this game. This is the game, similar to Texas and Oklahoma, I wouldn't even think about touching the spread for either side. Because you could tell me Nico goes out there and he puts it together and Tennessee revs the engine and they go out and score, call it 43. And you're like, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. This Florida defense is very gettable. But again, weird things happen in this game. There's a reason why Tennessee is 2-17, and what that reason is, I have no idea. But I think you got to put Tennessee on upset watch a little bit with this one, especially with how the offense played last week against Arkansas, y'all. If they trot out there and look that way, we don't just have issues in Knoxville. We have problems. All right, there's a difference, and we'll talk about that again a little bit more in depth in a minute here. But I do think that's one to keep an eye on. One more to look at here in the SEC. A lot of SEC action here for the upset watch. The Sharks are circling SEC country, is how we feel. South Carolina going to Tuscaloosa, 21.5-point dogs against Alabama. Now I'll say this. I think Vanderbilt is better than people think. Fully believe that. Better than people think. If you thought that Vanderbilt was just a logo, I think they have started to at least question that opinion for you based on what they did last week in Nashville. However, I don't think Vanderbilt has better players than South Carolina. So the question is, if you're Alabama, are you angry and now you're able to reset and get back to your standard of football? Or are we starting to have a little bit of, we question ourselves, we get frustrated, maybe you feel like, okay, that was just a bad showing by us, we don't need to really correct too much internally and move forward. I'd be wildly surprised if Kalen DeBoer didn't have this team ready to roll. But I do think 21.5 is a lot. I also think the style of game, like Lenora Sellers now, Diego Pavia lit you up on the ground a little bit, lit you up not so much in the box score, but more so with what he forced your defense to have to honor. Lenora Sellers is a freak show athlete. Don't know if he's going rec specs or contacts in this one. Either way, with what he can do on the ground and the way that Alabama struggled to play the option effectively, it won't be the same kind of option, but you'll still see a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of quarterback, potentially inverted veer, things of that nature that I think could give Alabama a little bit of some issues if they play it the same way they played it against Diego Pavia and Vandy. So we're not calling the upsets necessarily, except for Vandy at Kentucky. All the others, I would take a very hard look at those spreads and at least give a thought to sprinkling some money on the underdog side. So that's how we feel about the upset watch heading into week 7 of the college football season. Hey, quick word from our friends over at Huel. Sounds like fuel. It's not. It's Huel with an H. I told y'all, every morning now, it's become a part of my routine, and it gets me dialed in. Have a Huel energy drink right there on the nightstand. I don't know if my wife enjoys that I do this, but I do it anyway. Wake up, crack it open, smooth 200 milligrams of caffeine that tastes phenomenal, whether it be pineapple flavor or their blueberry flavor, and it's just, it gets the day rolling. So, also, Huel, phenomenal when it comes to nutrition as well as the caffeine. So if you're running late, no time for breakfast, and you're starving, we've all been there. You're racing the meetings, practice, school, pickups, whatever it is, but what if a delicious, nutritious meal could be ready in seconds? Hard Count is brought to you by Huel, the world's #1 complete nutrition brand with over 400 million meals sold worldwide. Huel is trusted by millions of people looking to fuel their days with convenient, complete nutrition. Try it for yourself with our offer, 15% off with code HARDCOUNT at Huel.com. Fuel your best with Huel today. Again, code HARDCOUNT, Huel.com. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel, nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters.